He is a man of very, very many hats. He has been in the media industry as a practitioner for the last 15 years. And to add on it, he has been a lecturer for the last 5 years. We want to be able to understand how he can juggle both and not cause conflict in between. Then after that, we will have a human resource manager or also a talent acquisitionist who will take us through how do you balance both, not cause a conflict. Join us today on Meet the HR Show with me, Laura Nell. Hi, Mr. Kagi.
Hello, how are you now?
I'm very well.
Good to see you.
Good to see you too, and thank you for welcoming us here.
Thank you.
Now, 15 years as a media practitioner. Tell me the journey.
Yes, it's quite a long time, 15 years.
Yes.
I discovered myself as a journalist when I was in class 7.
Class 7.
Class 7.
That's an early stage.
Yes. I used to listen to only one radio station in Kenya, which was KBC. But back before then, I didn't know more about Swahili.
Okay.
So when we shifted from where we are living with our family, I only knew my mother tongue. So when we shifted to another place, I found a new language called Kiswahili.
Yes.
And we were listening to a radio, and I came to love Kiswahili so much. Even in school, I used to love Kiswahili with a teacher, and somehow, because I was listening to KBC that time, I became in love with Kiswahili.
Okay.
So I used to listen to radio all the time when I'm at home, weekends, in the evening after school, and I started loving radio at that time.
Yes.
So from class 7, I was lucky. My mother had a radio, Philip 365.
You remember the make?
Yes.
Yes.
And he used to allow me to go to Shamba with that radio, to follow up the programs, to graze our livestock, also using the radio.
Yes.
I can say unknowingly, she really contributed so much in that journey.
And during that time,
Yes.
which was your favorite program?
Salam's program. Yes.
What was it all about?
It was all about going to town and buying some cards, and then taking them to the office of the Kenya Broadcasting Corporation.
Yes.
And then you come and fill the salams, your name, 3 people you want to greet, and then you make a request
Yes.
and a message.
All right.
So I used to listen to those programs, and I remember I used to imitate those salams a lot.
At a very young age.
Yes. Then high school, the passion started growing vigorously. And I remember when I was in Form 1, Form 2, I started working out ways to be able to grow as a journalist.
Yes.
Particularly as a radio presenter. I used to write those salams. I remember one time I bought an exercise book, and then I prepared some salams cards through an exercise book, and I went all around the classes from Form 1 to Form 4. You fill your name, and then you feel where you come from, greet 3 people, a message and a request.
That's great passion.
Yes, and then in the weekend, I talked with one teacher to assist me with a radio cassette in the staff room. So I used to record those salams during the weekend using a radio cassette.
Yes.
I had bought an empty radio cassette. So once I record, I used to keep them, and then I look for a place to go and listen to them.
Nice.
So the passion started growing day by day, right?
Yes.
Yes.
And during that time, how did you transition and found yourself behind the mic?
When I finished Form 4, I knew exactly what I want to do. I talked with my parents and my close friends, and they told me I must pursue journalism. I applied at one of the only the sole, I think, a college for media in Nairobi, KIMC. That time, there was no any other I knew.
That was around which year?
It was around 1996.
96.
Yes.
Hi people. Hi.
Yes. And then I started applying that time at KBC 30456 PO Box number. I still remember this time. I was looking for a job at that moment, and I kept applying, and I didn't manage to go to college at KMC because it was very competitive. It was a sole college in Kenya. It became very difficult. So I talked with my parents. They gave me an advice. I should change a course, and then I decided to do a different course. In fact, I was looking for a more technical, skillful course in my life. Since I didn't find a place at KMC, I decided to go for a building course to do building and construction.
Now, let me ask you, Paul. From building, from communication media
Yes.
to now building. How? It wasn't even close to each other.
And you're calling it a journey. It has been a long journey.
Yes.
I went to college I did building construction. I finished. See the passion building within me.
Yes.
At Kiambu Institute of Science and Technology, I used to write articles.
Oh, you didn't stop.
I didn't. In the notice board every Friday, I used to see students trooping towards the notice board to read my articles.
Nice.
That time. I did all the time I was at KIST. And then after there, I came out of there, I started operating a business in building industry.
All right.
I did it for 7 years. But all the 7 years now, the passion for media was like fire burning within me.
Every single day.
Every single day, every single moment. I managed to open a furniture's workshop, and I remember when I closed the business, I used to do some presentation practice inside my workshop.
So you told
At
yourself,
night.
this dream is not just going anywhere else.
Yes.
We will stay with it and we will ensure it reaches somewhere.
Yes, once you discover yourself and you know what you want in life, there is no stopping.
That's
You
it.
need to move,
Okay.
right?
So now in the airwaves.
Yes, when I was doing the business, I remember my brother came. He knew my passion. He told me I've heard there's a radio station within the vicinity. You can apply for a job. Where is it? He had a number, and then I called them. They say, and then I confirmed there was a media house. I went to one of the one of the music studio. I recorded a demo
All right.
that time, and I took that demo to the media house, and I think they were happy with the demo. Remember, this time I had not taken any media class.
True.
It was passion. It was
Self-taught.
self-taught.
Yes.
I had done everything possible. I think I was ready for it.
Yeah.
So I applied. I was called for interview, and I passed the interview.
There and there.
And I remember the first day I went to report to work. One of my first assignments was to read news.
Because you see, the voice was already inside.
I tell you. And then when I read news for the first time, I remember the reception after the news at 1 p.m. I found a group of the workmates waiting for me there outside, wanting to know, where were you working before you came here? Right?
If they only knew the story behind.
It was just an amazing question for me.
Yeah.
And I was torn between, do I cheat them or do I tell them the truth?
They become honest and tell you kwa ground penye vitu zilikuwa.
Yes, I told them, no, it's my first time to be on radio. And they were very much shocked.
All right.
Even today now,
Yes.
I could not understand how I used to write news on radio
Yes.
perfectly. And I remember I used to even to teach guys who came from school on how to write news. I remember some reporters who are in the field used to come in the evening for some training in my desk on how to write news, on how to do all those, And I continued in the news desk. After a short while, I became assistant news editor.
Yes.
I think immediately I became assistant news editor. Yes.
That was favor, direct favor.
After 1 year, I was the news editor.
Yes.
It was one of the biggest assignments I ever had. And I did that job with a lot of passion. I had that passion for media.
Yes.
So I'm not struggling with anything. I'm doing it out of a lot of passion, a lot of love, And I did that job for news editor for, I think, 8 years. And along the way, for the 8 years, after I think 3 years or 4 years, I now started thinking of going back to school.
All right.
To pursue now journalism.
Yes.
Because I felt now I'm in the right place at the right time. I need the right documentation.
True.
So luckily I was working the afternoon session, and I talked with the management. They allowed me to go to school at Mount Kenya University, and then I did my training there until I finished.
And now the teaching part, because we want to try and understand. Media practitioner and now a lecturer
Yes.
here at RVIPS. How did the two join?
It started long time ago unknowingly.
Unknowingly.
Yes.
Okay.
When I was assigned a duty of a news editor, assistant news editor, I was given a duty to handle the attaches and the interns in the media house.
Okay.
So those guys who came from university, for internship, from colleges, I was given a task to be able to manage them. So I had my own desk, whereby I used to sit with them, I think 3 or 5 every 3 months. And I used to train them a lot of things. And one thing that caught my attention that time is that I felt these guys are coming from universities, from colleges, unequipped.
All right.
Someone comes in a media house. I remember I talked with one girl and she was in 3rd year in university and she would not be able to write news, to edit anything, and I felt painful.
Something needs to be
Yes.
done.
And I told myself, I think something is not adding up here. How can someone be in school for 3 years? You leave school without any skill in media. And I started thinking, I wish I had an opportunity to be in school to teach these guys something new.
Yeah.
So you see now?
Yes.
So it kept on pushing within me 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, 5 years. And then I met someone and told me that I should start thinking about it.
Yes.
Which way? I don't know. Luckily, the Rift Valley Institute of Business Studies, RVIPS, was thinking of opening a media school.
Yes.
And I got the information and I applied for a part-time teacher. And I went for the interview and I was picked as part-time trainer.
And during that time,
Yes.
did they know already you had another job, or you waited, you stayed in the job, then told them, by the way, I am usually a presenter, news editor at this and this station?
That time, my name, I would say, was a household name. So it was not new to them. They knew I'm working somewhere. The only thing they wanted to understand is how can you do it? I told them I'm working in the afternoon shift. So from morning up to 2, I'm always idling at home. I can utilize this time and do something. That's how I got it.
Nice. Ni kujisema.
Unajieleza.
All right.
Yes.
In Kenya right now, when you walk amongst youth and you hear them, they'll say, Kenya, there is no job. And for you, you have 2 jobs.
Yes.
How?
I would classify into 2 areas.
All right.
Number 1 is according to, God will grant you your heart desires.
Yes.
One of the desires was to become a media person. I remember the time I was praying for to become a media person at home. I had a prayer that I remember I put a tablet on my bedroom at the doorstep, which I wrote. It was in 1st January, the year 2007. I wrote a tablet, small tablet on a paper.
Yeah.
I am a veteran broadcaster, the 1st of January 2007.
Yeah.
On my bedroom door where there's a switch. When I'm coming in the morning, I will see it. When I'm coming to the bedroom, I will see it. And the dream came to be.
Yes.
Number 2, I've just told you the passion to be able to train young journalists started growing when I was in media. So these are 2 things that dreams are coming to pass.
Yes.
That is one classification. Number 2, I think is an issue of your vision. Without vision, you cannot go anywhere.
Yes.
Whether you want to do 2 or 3 things or 4, what is your vision and your passion? The problem we have now with our young people, and it's too unfortunate, most of them are, number 1, are very lazy. Number 2,
We are the
they want
millennials.
an instant miracle.
Yes.
Right?
Immediately pop up.
It's next to impossibility. You have to work for these things and work hard. I knew it is a huge task ahead of me. And that time I remember when I was getting this job as a lecturer at RVIPS, I had just gotten another opportunity I was dreaming for, to work on a TV.
Both at the same
I know you
time.
work on a TV
Yes.
and you understand how cumbersome it is.
I know.
And I was in news department. At that time, I was a sub-editor in news department. I was a news anchor.
Yes.
So the pressure is so much on the news desk, and then I have a new assignment as a lecturer the same time. But I knew I'm a hardworking person, and I know my vision.
How are you balancing? Because we don't want to fall about on this other side.
Number one is to understand my program. Before I applied, I knew I have time to do this job, and I knew the media job is not going to interfere with the teaching job at any cost.
Yes.
And then I knew it is very demanding, so I need to think of psychologically to prepare myself to be an extra hardworking man.
Okay.
You see?
The extra thing. Extra
Yes,
factor.
because I'm working early in the morning to be in class at 7 a.m. that time. I teach up to, I think, 12 in the PM. I have to be in studio around 2 p.m. They have little time, short time for lunch and to maybe to transit.
Catch up.
Yes, and then I go to the studio.
Yes.
So it's a matter of understanding your program, making a decision to be a hardworking person, and to be careful because you're working with two institutions that are all demanding your delivery.
Yes.
You see?
Yeah.
I could not imagine of a situation whereby one institution could summon me for failing on
You're
my
not
duty.
delivering.
Yes, that one was next to my impossibility,
Yes.
even today.
All right. And is there an advantage of you being a practitioner and at the same time being a lecturer here at RVIPS?
Yes, yes. You see, I count myself as a blessed man
Okay.
because I am in media industry as a media practitioner. At the same time, I am training young people, journalists, the same thing I'm practicing there.
Yes.
You know, the challenge I saw long time ago when I was telling you about the interns,
Yes, yes.
now I have an opportunity to be able to
Correct.
train them personally, what I desired those years back.
Make them ready.
Yes. And when I came to RVIPS, I remember I talked with the director and those who were in charge that time in the media department that we need to do one thing.
Okay.
Before we start this department, we need to equip it. Because I could not imagine a Nell, I could repeat the same mistake that I saw some years back.
Yes.
So I feel satisfied and contented being in media industry and trying to bring up a chunk of journalists in the industry. It is very satisfying. I feel happy every morning, every afternoon, and every evening.
And currently, an approximate, how many
Yes.
students have passed through your hands?
I think between, for at that time, 5 years, I think, I can count around 1,000
1,000.
plus.
That's a huge impact.
Yes,
And you're equipping them with the very best.
and I'm passionate about it.
Because you're in the industry and the passion factor.
Yes.
And I'm sure there's also discipline in what you do.
Yes, and I think the government is borrowing the same leaf from that.
Okay?
You know the CBC?
Yes, yes.
The government is coming up with a program similar to CBC in our colleges,
Oh.
which they are calling CDAC.
Okay.
It's being implemented in some institutions and some departments whereby, because we have a problem with jobs in our country, and how do we bridge that gap?
Yes.
It's coming up with a program whereby we equip our youth with skills, whether it is in media, in hospitality, in beauty, in engineering.
Yes.
And how do we do that? Is the government coming up with a program called CDAC, whereby they want to invite now the practitioners in the field to bring their expertise in the field.
That's
You get that?
important, and it could really help because
Yes.
we're looking for ways in which we can bridge whatever we learn in school and whatever is happening right now, so that it's vitu kwa ground ni same. It shouldn't be the fact that whatever you learn in school and whatever you come practicing outside,
Yes.
it's two different things.
True. So I think we are late for that, but if the government is going to be quick in implementing that,
Will be
it's
very
going to
good.
help our young people who are having a challenge with employment.
All right.
Yeah.
And have you found yourself in a situation whereby there is conflict of interest between your place of work in the station and at the same time here at where you lecture?
Sometimes it happened, but not very much, because if there's something I'm very careful about, is the conflict of interest.
Yes.
But how do I beat that?
Okay.
Number one, I operate with 2 diaries.
Ah, okay.
Yes. One, when I'm in school, I have a diary when I'm in school to be able to record everything that I do there, I'm supposed to do. Number 2, when I'm in media desk, I always have my diary there for media activities.
Yes.
Number 2, I have tried as much as I can to be able to reveal to the 2 institutions what I do.
Whoa.
Because I felt it's not good to hide.
From the beginning, both of them knew.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, I shared what I do to avoid last minute revelation, maybe through the back door.
Yeah.
I felt it's not good. So revelation has really helped me to be able to avoid the conflict of interest. But
Yes.
the last thing is to be organized.
Very organized.
Very organized, because unless I'm very organized, there will be a lot of conflict of interest. Before I sleep, I must make sure that I reorganize my mind
Yes.
to what I'm supposed to do in the morning. In the lunch break, I have to sit down, and then I reorganize myself again on what is coming ahead of me.
Yes.
It flows like a river.
Beautiful word.
We have been having Mr. Paul Kagi, who has been juggling 2 jobs. So right now we'll be having Erastus Cheriot, who is a talent acquisition officer, and he'll be able to help us understand how you can juggle 2 or 3 jobs and not compromise the other. We've been having a discussion before you joined us, and we're talking about juggling of jobs. How effective is it?
Yeah, we are at a time where that is possible.
Okay.
For various reasons. Of course, top reason that people consider is the income.
Yes.
Maybe you're not satisfied on your current job and you want to add an income stream, then you can take on an additional job. So that is, of course, the obvious reason.
Yes.
But of course, like you may be having other reasons to that, including maybe you are multi-talented and you just want to tap all the talents you have.
Yes.
So if one job is utilizing one of your talents, you might want to find another job where you feel you could utilize another talent
Yes.
and earn something from it.
All right.
So that is it. And then of course there are other reasons, like we are at a time where layoffs are very common,
That's true.
and some people just take on multiple jobs as backup.
All right.
So that is also a possibility. And when you also want to explore, let's say you want to test out other careers, maybe you're sitting there, your job isn't utilizing a lot of your time, and you're feeling like you want to try something else. You're in media, and maybe on the side you want to do something else,
Yes.
art or something that you feel you can do, and you want to test it out. You can take on 2 jobs while you're still employed on your current jobs. So there can be a range of reasons to that.
Okay.
Yeah.
And are there dangers of juggling of jobs?
Dangers, not really, except what you have to look at when you're considering adding jobs is consider your current job. If your main job has conflicts, of course a job comes with policies. It's on your contract.
Okay.
So some contracts might have policies that don't require you to take on another job.
Okay.
But if it doesn't conflict in that sense, then of course you can go ahead to take on the other job.
Okay.
Another conflict that could come obviously is burnout. Depending on the time you have to allocate across the jobs that you're taking, you could be having sufficient time to do it, or time could be so little that you stress out yourself and you burn out.
All right.
So in that case, it will affect both your jobs, where your productivity in your main job may be jeopardized,
Yes.
and you may even end up risking or losing both jobs. So in that case, you have to be very careful.
All right.
Yeah, so that is burnout. And then we talk of work-life balance. Some people, you don't want to be working all through. You don't
24/7.
Yeah, maybe you even have a family, and that may not allow you to, these 2 jobs or multiple jobs may not allow you to take care of your family
All right.
sufficiently. Yeah.
Okay. And in terms of communication, let's say I've got let's say an individual has found an opportunity, at what point should they tell their employer? Yes.
Yeah, that should happen right away. It's good to be very, very open with that, transparent and honest.
Yes.
So first you will look at your earlier contract. If you're not so sure, consult.
Okay.
It's not bad to tell an employer that you have an offer somewhere or an additional opportunity that you could take on if you're feeling like it might bring conflict. So consult so that you know whether you will accept it. You can consult before accepting the other job, because it's not good to do it. It will be very hard for you to do it secretly, and again, it can be really dangerous to do it if your current employer will find that it conflicts with the current employer policies.
Okay.
Yeah.
And we've talked so much on the benefit of an individual getting the other job or juggling two jobs. Is there a benefit to the company when they have an individual who's juggling two jobs?
So most companies, unless you're working the two jobs within the same company, that can be possible.
Yes.
You can have two jobs within the same company, or you can have in different places.
Yes, in different places.
Yeah. So for the current company, I don't know. It now depends. The whole situation depends.
Okay.
For your current company, there is a situation that it might it might seen as hurting your time, the time you're allocating to this company, and hurting your productivity. That can be a danger.
Yes.
But I don't know, maybe there is a scenario where it can be productive for both. I do not know. Maybe it has some indirect benefits to what you're doing. It could be promotional if you're going somewhere and carrying the brand of the current company.
That's okay.
Yeah, it could be a plus to this other company.
All right.
Look at the contract and also see, by the time you're getting employed, you're a responsible person to know the interest of your current employer and to avoid doing things that hurt your current employer before resigning. Yeah.
All right. Yeah. Thank you so much, Mr. Erastus. This has been a very fruitful discussion of helping us understand juggling of two or more jobs without compromising the other.
Thank you very much.
So thank you very much and hopeful to see you soon.
Asante sana.
All right.
Looking forward to seeing you.
Okay.
That's it.
This has been Meet the HR Show with me, Laura Nell. And until next week, bye.